Hello, welcome to In the Flow, where success reveals its secrets. And today, flow is going to stand for a few things that you're going to take away and be able to implement one step to move yourself forward in understanding how to grow a successful business versus just being good at what you do. If you're a speaker and you're a course creator, all the better. This applies to every single business owner out there, though. So in the flow is PHLOW, and each letter stands for something. And so today, the P is for pricing. And what I would like you to take away from this is that pricing is not what you charge. That's part of pricing. But as a speaker who's transitioning to running a speaking business, or you're somebody who does workshops, creates programs or courses, you have to transition yourself to a business leader or business owner, not just somebody who's really good at what they do. And so when you use pricing in that formulaic way, pricing is a tool that helps you get paid what you're worth, which is really important. It also is the foundation tool that you use to build and scale and grow your business. And what pricing allows you to do is, when you use it properly, is to be able to use it and forecast your growth and then start charging that now, because pricing reveals what you have to charge, but it also lets you know what you have to sell. And so if you're a speaker, it will let you know how many gigs you have to do. But if you're a speaker who's transitioning from a speaker to running a speaking business, you're probably going to have a course, a workshop, an event, or a program. And so it will tell you how many gigs you need to do, and then how many workshops uh, you need to run, but also how many people you need to have in each one. If you're a course, program, workshop creator, it tells you how many people you need in the seats or how many sales you require for every launch that you do. So when you can understand this and you formulate your pricing and you use it as a tool for growth, it's one of the best things you could ever do, because that's the foundation that you build a successful business on, that covers all expenses, that pays you what you're worth, and has a set profit at the end of every single transaction. So the H in the flow, PHLOW, right, where success reveals its secrets. The H is in hiring help. The only way we can grow is we have to get rid of us doing everything. And that requires hiring help in the form of programs or products, but it's also in the form of hiring additional people. Now, the ideal way is you hire at a level of skills that's required for what you are doing now, close to the level or exceeding the level that you do it at. That's the ideal thing. Most business owners, most entrepreneurs, most speakers, most course and program creators don't do it that way, because they look at what can I afford or how much can I give up, right? You shouldn't be giving up anything, any of your pay. You should never give up. You should get paid from day one, and you should never give up your pay to bring in another helper for more than a really short period of time. There's exceptions to the rule. That's why I said that. But if you price formulaically and you know what you need to pay somebody at the level that you require, and you forecast that growth and you formulate it out, you'll know exactly what to charge. And there's a 95% chance you can start charging that today, even if you're not going to hire someone for 3, 6, or 12 months. And imagine when it comes time to hire, what happens, right? When you can afford to pay at a higher level of assistant and you're already paying for them, when it comes time to hire them, it's easy, because the 50% of the mental hesitation, can we afford it, is eliminated. That's why hiring, or knowing how to get help and when to get help, but how to pay for help, is really important. The L today is for leveraging. We have to leverage cash flow. We have to leverage our time. We have to leverage our ability, and we have to leverage processes. And so if we go into processes first, before you hire somebody, That's why it's really good to pay for them up front, because as you're perfecting the process, their workflow, you're already charging for their salary, their payment. And then what it allows you to do is you work on the process. What is each step they will have to take? This is for a creative person. It's not a fun thing. But you remember this, you only have to do it one time. And then you make small adjustments. And usually you can have them make the adjustments on paper. But what you have to do is you have to create a step-by-step process. How do you do it? So that you get it out of here and you put it on computer or paper, so that you're not just what I call hot potato managing, which is you sit somebody down for like 10 minutes and you say, okay, here's what you do. You take this, you do this, you take this, you take this piece of paper, you do that. You got it? And then they're like, yeah, kind of, and part of them is afraid to say no to you. And the other part is they're so overwhelmed because you just told them 22 things they're trying to remember. So when you put it down as a process, a step-by-step process, and you say, look, the rule of thumb, I didn't create this, but I follow it, is you write it out like you're talking to a fifth grader, somebody who really needs the detail to understand it. But once they understand it, they run with it. That's what you need to do when you're leveraging processes. When you're leveraging cash flow, you're pricing it properly, you're formulating your price, you're covering all your expenses, you're paying you what you're worth, and you're paying for your future team before you hire them, so that when you hire them, that cost is already factored in. It's not costing the business anything. It's helping the business. And that's the way we need to look at pricing, not as just what we charge, but how can I use this as a tool so that it helps me build and sustain the growth required, so that you can leverage time, right? We all desire some more time, creative time, time off. Both of those are critically important, because as a creator, a speaker, a program creator, a workshop producer, you need the time to be creative, to refine your things, to see where the gaps were after the last one and make adjustments. These require time. We can't just keep doing, then we never spend time to refine and make the adjustments, and we suffer because of it. The last piece on the leverage is our ability. We're really good at what we do creatively. We're not always as good in the admin side or the other side that behind the scenes that require expertise. You want to cause me pain and suffering? Put me behind a screen and tell me to figure out go high level. I can do it, but what would take somebody one day or an hour would take me a week to a month. Is that a good use of my time? It's not. So when you leverage your time, you replace yourself with someone who's better than you are, who can follow what you require, and they do it efficiently and effectively. And that makes it not only valuable, but it makes it affordable. The next thing in the O is overcoming overwhelm. And we do that by owning our leadership. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it's because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too many of the things that you don't prefer doing, you don't like doing, or you're not that good at it. And so what happens is we have all these to do, and it stacks up this tall. And then we just get overwhelmed. We shut down sometimes. And that creates stress. And then the stress creates doubt. And then the doubt creates lack of cash flow. And the lack of cash flow makes us wonder, did we make a good decision or not? I can tell you that if you like what you do, if you're a speaker and you like being on stage and you love that energy from it, you're meant to be a speaker. You're just not meant to do all the other stuff as soon as possible. And what I mean by that is, in the beginning, we jump in, we do things, we figure it out. That's how we lead other people. But as soon as we know that, that's why pricing is so important, is because we can figure it out, know what level of person that we need, and then work to make sure that that's being fulfilled, that pricing. And so then it just becomes a marketing issue and a fulfillment issue. And then when we can get the people in place to do that, what happens is we start owning our leadership. After we hire somebody, we have to own our leadership, which means we have to lead. We have to be in service to those that serve us, right? Make sure that we're connected with them and make sure that we're honoring our our leadership and leading with understanding and leading with our own inner confidence and power. And that comes from number one, being able to afford it. And number two, um, knowing the processes that you have so that they can follow a good rule, but also that we lead with confidence and belief. The W in flow is winning. And it starts by first planning wins. How many of you plan wins? You plan an activity that gets you a successful outcome, and that outcome is considered a win. How many of you do that? If not, I strongly can recommend it. Don't consider it, recommend it. I suggest it. Is when you're planning out your activity and you plan out that result, view it as that win. The other thing is celebrating the wins, understanding each step we take is one step forward to growing our successful business. So it gets to the point, if you're a speaker, you're just speaking and you're collaborating with other speakers or event people, or you're having lunches and you're doing the things of a leader. You're not doing the things of a doer. That's left for your staff. That's why we price, so that you can hire the right staff and the right amount of staff. The other thing about celebrating our wins is that we're sharing it with whatever your beliefs are, God, the universe, that not only we understand it and we acknowledge them, but we welcome more of them. Plus, what it does for your belief and your confidence and your growth. So I hope that you're understanding all of this today. I keep these short, but I want you to understand flow. When we're in flow, everyone will agree that things are much smoother, easier, and better. Um, Remember, pricing builds all of this. Use pricing as a growth tool, as a structure tool, not just as something that you charge or not something that you guess at. When you're guessing your pricing, you're never sure if it's really paying off or not. When you can formulate it and you can use a calculator and you see your numbers in front of you and it shows you this is exactly what I have to charge, you leave with confidence and a knowing in what it is that you need to get, so that you're getting paid, you're covering all your expenses, and you're adding a profit. Come back next week. I'll have a different topic. I'll use flow as the example. And if you have any questions or so, please ask right over here. And by all means, please subscribe to the channel, follow me, share a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.